Do we think that the average pharmacy bill is going up here? Jack did a whole tariff and trade investigation tracker. And so it has tariff rates across the world. You can see here, you have a global of 10%, China's at 34%, the EU 20%, Vietnam 46%. See here, Taiwan 32%, Japan 24%, India 26%, South Korea 25%, Thailand. I mean, these are, I'm not going to read them all, but you can see there's some very big numbers here. But just from a historical perspective, the last time the United States was really doubling down on tariffs in terms of global trade is the Smoot-Hawley tariffs back in the 1930s. And at that point, global trade was a far smaller percentage of the United States gross domestic product. Today, the report that I saw, Brian, is it's closer to 14%. So if that's true, if the reporting is correct that global trade is about 14% of GDP, and the vast majority is led by consumers. Consumer spending is the biggest, by far, proportion of GDP. Those two things are interconnected. If global trade is seriously impacted, such that prices, and particularly prices on imports, go up substantially, such that the paychecks of average Americans don't go as far, that's a difficult economic recipe and something to be a bit concerned about. So that's the context for where we are. But sometimes drugs aren't that cheap, and Americans tend to use like everything from pain relievers to things like GLP-1s. Like we use drugs all the time for different treatments or what have you. Do we think that the average pharmacy bill is going up here?
Yeah, I have to think it's probably not a major issue. And also,
that'd be good.
The other thing is, like, most people aren't paying the sticker price, right? I mean, maybe for GLP-1s, people are paying the sticker price because they're paying cash. But for the most part, the insurers are paying the bill, and you're paying the copay on the bill.
Yeah.
Unless you're on a high deductible drug, thing. But people who are signing up for high deductible plans are people who don't have, who aren't sick, right? Who don't have who their view is that they're not likely to have any major issues. So why not, have a high deductible plan and have a lower premium? That makes sense financially. You're basically taking on that risk that you might fall, even though you're currently healthy, you might fall into that high, that plan where it would make more sense for you to actually not be on the high deductible plan. I take 3 or 4 drugs a day. Those, some of them most of them are generic. So it's not like those probably aren't going to change. The value of those aren't going to change. And I have, one branded drug. And if that drug is manufactured overseas and it's going to be at a higher rate, I'm probably not going to actually end up paying a higher rate on that drug, right? Because it's probably going to be the insurance company that ends up paying that higher rate. Now, ultimately, maybe the premium is going to go up next year because the insurance company realizes that they're paying a higher rate for that drug. And so then they'll end up, paying, then I'll end up paying more indirectly. But I won't actually realize that that's the case,